Hi, my name is Ali, and in this video I would like to introduce you to the RSI Alert Manager indicator of the cTrader platform. Stay tuned. The Relative Strength Indicator is a simple but effective technical analysis trading tool that measures the acceleration of price changes. The RSI is a momentum oscillator that measures the speed and volatility of price movements and fluctuates between levels of 0 and 100, usually indicating the level of market excitement. This indicator was introduced in 1978 by John Wells Wilder, Jr. in the book New Concepts in Technical Trading System. The RSI indicator is one of the most widely used and popular indicators among analysts around the world. Therefore, its use as a powerful tool for correctly identifying the price trend and confirming the trade can be the basis for increasing your trading success. In the default settings of the RSI, the values 30 and 70 are considered as overbought and oversold levels. So if the RSI is at or below 30, it indicates an oversold zone, and if it is at or above 70, it indicates an overbought zone. Crossing the RSI line from the oversold and overbought zones can be considered a buy or sell signal. The 50 level also represents the neutral level, or the balance between bullish and bearish positions. Although the RSI indicator can catch large movement trends, tracking the movement trend of RSI in different currency pairs and timeframes is a difficult and tedious task, and most of the time we cannot look at the monitor for hours to find a proper signal. The RSI indicator moves slower compared to other momentum oscillators such as the stochastic indicator, which causes traders to use it hastily or ignore it and make mistakes. What is the RSI Alert Manager indicator? But the RSI Alert Manager has features that can make your work easier and inform you about important situations. 1. The RSI Alert Manager indicator helps you to set different levels for the RSI indicator in different time frames and for different currency pairs so that it gives an alert when the indicator crosses the set levels. 2. In this indicator, you can draw trend lines in different time frames so that it alerts you when the RSI crosses these lines. 3. This indicator can give the necessary alerts on hidden and regular divergences in different time frames. 4. This indicator uses Fibonacci levels to detect divergences more accurately. After installing RSI Alert Manager, this indicator is placed as a separate chart below the price chart, and its values are exactly the same as the standard RSI indicator. Adding alert levels in the indicator. You can use the horizontal line to add different levels to this indicator. For example, I add 2 horizontal lines to the indicator so that I get an alert when the RSI crosses 30 and 70. This indicator can check the breaking of levels from 2 directions, and you can define for each line in which direction an alarm should be triggered when the RSI breaks through it. To do this, simply click on a horizontal line and specify the direction in the panel that appears. If you want the indicator to check the crossing of a level in both directions, select the Cross Up Down option. When are break levels checked? Note that the break of a level is checked when a candle closes. If the RSI crosses or touches a level with a shadow before the candle closes, the indicator does not give an alert, and the measurement criterion is the closing time of the candle. Display a level in all time frames. The RSI Alert Manager indicator works as a multi-time frame. This means each level you add to the indicator is specific to the same time frame and will only be shown to you in that time frame, and its break by the RSI will only be checked in that time frame. If you want to have a level in all time frames, you can add this level to all time frames by clicking on a level and selecting the option to all time frames. Another very useful and important feature that the indicator offers you is that you can draw a trend line in the RSI, and if the trend line is broken by the RSI, it will give you a warning. To draw an alert trend line in the indicator, select Trend Line from the Tools menu and draw it in the indicator area. This feature is very useful in combination with trend line and price channel strategies, and you do not have to spend hours looking at the chart to find the right position to enter the trade. Now I will show you very quickly, and without explanation, how it works. Another point to note is that the trend lines drawn in the indicator are also managed as multi-time frames, and each line is specific to the same time frame in which it is drawn. If you do not want the lines drawn in the indicator to be managed and ignored by the indicator, simply delete the information in the comments section of the trend line or horizontal line. When does the trend line expire? When the RSI crosses the end of a trend line, it expires, and the RSI crossing indicator does not check this trend line. How can I set the indicator to show divergences? Simply click on the text "Activate Divergence" in any time frame. The occurrence of divergences in this time frame will then be checked for the next candles. In the event of a divergence, the necessary warning will be issued and displayed in the chart. If you click on it again, the analysis of the chart to find the divergence in this time frame will be stopped. Now let us go to the main settings of this indicator. You may be familiar with the notification settings section in my other indicators, but I will explain it again. In the Notification Settings section, you can manage the notifications created by this indicator. By setting the API token and the chat ID, you can set the indicator to send you the issued alert in Telegram. If the Show Message Box option is enabled, a warning message box will be displayed on the screen. By default, this message box is removed from the screen after 3 seconds. You can change the time in this section. If the Play Sound Message option is enabled, you can hear the warning in 2 ways. The indicator can read it to you.
Cross up in RSI Euro USD H1.
Or you can also set an audio file to be played when the event occurs. In the event settings, if you set this option to yes, the indicator will display events related to the breaking of a level or trend line with a symbol on the chart. With this option, you can set the maximum number of these symbols. If you set the event time option to always, you will be informed about events at all times. You can also set a time range in which the indicator only informs you about events at this time. In the horizontal line section, you can change the color and style of these lines. In the trend line section, you can change the color and style settings of these lines. The Total Trend Lines option checks the number of trend lines you have drawn in the indicator, and if it exceeds the specified number, the oldest trend line will be deleted. This option is placed so that if you forget to delete the expired trend lines, the indicator will do so that their rise does not slow down the indicator's activities. The swing depth is very important in the swing settings section. This option is the main criterion of the indicator to find high and low points. The larger this number is, the more important highs and lows the indicator finds, and the smaller this number is, the smaller and more detailed swings it finds. Note that the indicator only checks for the occurrence of divergences at these points. If you activate the Show Swing Points option, the highs and lows found will be displayed on the chart. With the next 2 options, you can also adjust the color of these points. The next sections are about adjusting divergences, so please pay close attention to my explanations. The option Number of Verifiable Swings filters the number of highs and lows that exist in the market's past. This number is 10 by default, which means that the indicator checks for the presence of divergences at the last 10 highs and lows at any given time. By default, the indicator only shows hidden divergences. However, if you want the indicator to also check for the presence of regular divergences in the chart, activate the Show Regular Divergence option. The Total Divergence Lines option is set to 5 by default, which means that only the last 5 divergences found are displayed in the chart. The indicator marks the divergences found in different time frames with a label, so that you know to which time frame the divergence found belongs. With the option Show Divergence Label, you can show or not show the label of the divergence lines. If you activate the Remove Failed Divergences option, the indicator will automatically remove failed divergences. What are the failed divergences? You can find divergences anywhere on the chart, but not all of them are valid, and they have different probabilities of action. This indicator uses Fibonacci levels to filter divergences. This means that you can set it to show only the divergences that occur in a certain range of Fibonacci levels and issue the corresponding alert. You can set different ranges to find hidden and regular divergences, so that you do not get insignificant and weak signals. By default, the search for hidden divergences is limited to a range from 38.2% to 100% of the previous wave. And the search limit for regular divergences is between 127.2 and 161.8% of the previous wave. You can change these ranges depending on your strategy. Now, divergences that exceed this defined range are considered unsuccessful and removed from the indicator, so that the chart is not filled with different lines, and you can only see successful divergences in the chart. Note that divergence warnings are only issued once after they occur. If the divergence persists in subsequent candles, only its line will be updated. You may have seen in various courses how trading strategies are trained with RSI and divergences, or you may have experienced yourself that divergences that occur in oversold and overbought areas are more valid, and the probability of a successful divergence is higher in these areas. Another filter you can set in this indicator: oversold and overbought areas are used to find divergences. These numbers are set to 40 and 60 by default. This means that at the time of a hidden bearish divergence, the last value of the RSI should be above 60, and at the time of a hidden bullish divergence, it should be below 40. But in regular divergence, the indicator checks the RSI value at the starting point of the previous trend. This means that the RSI value at the beginning of the previous trend should be greater than 60 for bearish regular divergences and less than 40 for bullish regular divergences. The last two options allow you to set the RSI period as well as the color and thickness of the RSI line. It may be a little complicated at first, but these filters will greatly help you to implement your strategies precisely and execute trades with a higher probability of success. Test the indicator on a demo account first to gain a full understanding of how it works, and once you have gained enough experience, use it to trade on a real account. Important points related to divergences: be aware that there are many divergences in the chart, and not all of them are necessarily correct and could tempt you to trade in the wrong direction. Divergences appear on the chart all the time, and it is up to you to use your own knowledge and experience to determine which of them is more likely to lead to success. As you know, hidden divergences that occur in the direction of the price movement are more important, and regular divergences against the price direction usually occur at the end of the price movement and can indicate the end of a trend. It is therefore very important that you can recognize the price movement correctly at the beginning. Draw support and resistance areas on the chart and use the divergences that occur at key points on the chart. I have done my best to create a complete and user-friendly indicator that will help you trade professionally and with less chance of error. But it all depends on you. Thank you for watching this video. Good luck and win.